A few people have asked me to comment on the recent arrest warrant issued for two NFL players, DeAndre Baker and Quinton Dunbar. I believe Mr. Baker plays for the Giants, and Dunbar, I believe, was traded to the Seattle Seahawks recently. But right now, it appears that both of these men are charged with aggravated assault and robbery in Florida. These are obviously serious charges. I would imagine that right now they're meeting with their legal teams and deciding how to best turn themselves in. I don't believe that either of them will be not turning themselves in. That wouldn't be a wise decision, especially given the fact that they're obviously public figures and people know who they are, and running from charges is never a solution. It just makes the case worse. And ultimately, if you are caught, just a kind of an FYI, the first thing that the prosecutor will argue if your case does go to trial is that you had a consciousness of guilt and you delayed turning yourself in and you had to be apprehended. So keep that in mind. It's just one more arrow for the prosecutor to launch at you. If you're thinking about running from criminal charges, I would advise you not to do that. So focusing back on these two men, right now, I've just seen reports from various news outlets, obviously ESPN and Fox Sports News. And with all respect to those reporters, I haven't seen anything from any criminal lawyers, whether they be prosecutors or criminal defense lawyers, commenting on it. We may see some legal analysis, but quite often when these reports come out, these reporters, who are usually not criminal lawyers, tell you that these men face a maximum punishment of, 100 and something years of incarceration. And that may be true, but what they're doing is they're not giving you the full picture. And I'm not saying that these charges aren't serious, but what I am saying is that they need to be explained. When you have an aggravated assault charge and a robbery charge, whether it be in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, or Florida, there's various aspects and degrees of those charges. That makes a difference. Now, the allegation here is that there was a threat made and this robbery occurred at gunpoint. So obviously that escalates it. In Pennsylvania, aggravated assault can range from a felony of the first degree to a felony of the second degree, depending on the severity of it. And with the increased gradation of that charge, obviously the criminal consequences would increase. The felony of a first degree in Pennsylvania, for instance, it's the causing or the attempt to cause serious bodily injury with an extreme indifference to the value of human life. So obviously a gunpoint robbery would possibly qualify for that, but that's not necessarily the case depending on the circumstances. So what I'm saying is that there's plenty to still understand about this case. There is case law, for instance, in Pennsylvania that says the use of a deadly weapon in an assault can also be graded as a simple assault, and I would imagine that possibly Florida has a similar situation there. Even dropping it from a aggravated assault of the first degree to the second degree would make a big difference in the case. For instance, in Pennsylvania, a aggravated assault of the first degree would make sentencing guidelines probably 22 to 36 months of state incarceration. If it was the second degree, it would drop it down to 9 to 16 months of county incarceration. And if both of these men have no prior criminal history, that could be argued, assuming that their cases weren't suitable for trial. With regards to robbery, again, like aggravated assault, it can range from a felony of the first degree to a felony of the third degree. I know the news reports have talked about this is a robbery by force, and it's kind of like that's basically all robberies are done by force. That's what a robbery is. It's a intentional taking done by force. Now, the degree of that force determines whether or not it's a felony of the first, second, or third degree. But a theft is just a robbery is a forceful taking. That's what separates a theft from a robbery. So keep that in mind. Obviously, again, like the aggravated assault, the degree of that force can determine the gradation of the charges. Florida, like New Jersey, maintains a grand jury system unlike Pennsylvania, which maintains a preliminary hearing system. Both of these men, after they turn themselves in, following the New Jersey type system in Florida, they'll have a first appearance. Their attorneys will be able to argue probable cause. I'm assuming, just based on news stories, the judge will probably find probable cause. That's a very low evidentiary standard. After that, their case at some point in time, if it's not worked out, pre-indictment, the case will be presented to the grand jury. And if it gets that far, there's a good likelihood, without knowing much about the cases, that these men would be indicted. But a lot could happen between now and then. What I'm trying to say is that right now, a lot of these news outlets make it seem that both these men are destined for long prison sentences. And that's not always the case. A lot needs to come out. I believe that while they may have some checkered past with regards to the NFL, it's my understanding that they may have had some even issues that caused them to slide in the draft or perhaps be traded. I don't believe that there are criminal issues. They may be. I don't know their backgrounds at all, so I'm not going to assume or any of that. But what I'm saying is that a lot can be done, especially for individuals who have led an otherwise law-abiding life. And again, we don't know exactly what transpired, given the fact that they're NFL players. Obviously, something may have occurred. They themselves may have been the victims here, and perhaps it escalated. They didn't know how to react. They had guns. They pulled them out, and who knows what happened. So again, it's very easy for an alleged victim in the case to argue that they were robbed, they were assaulted. I've seen it literally hundreds of times defending individuals in Pennsylvania and New Jersey over the last decade. So please keep an open mind with these cases. If you have questions about a violent felony charge in Pennsylvania or New Jersey, please contact our law firm. We answer our calls 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You may also visit our website, gambonelaw.com. Our phone number, 215-755-9000. That is a 24-hour number. I encourage you all, if you visit the website, to look out our blog, my download center, which provides a lot of great resources, including my podcast, which, again, is helpful to understand if you have a criminal charge, to understand more about it. So with that, I am wishing you all a great weekend, and I will talk to you soon.